Hi everyone, it's Karen here. Welcome to another video with me, and today I'm going to share with you how I created this card using the beautiful fairy called Spellbound. Here she is in front of this large moon, which I've created using a circle mask. I've used the large circle from that. The colours that I'm going to be using are Distress Oxides, Victorian Velvet, Bundled Sage, Dusty Concord. In VersaFine Clairs, I'm using Chianti and Nocturne, and I've also got a bit of black soot and hickory smoke for the edges. The other stamps that I'm going to be using in this card are Tree Branch, the small trees, which I've also used to create some spiky foliage there, the miniature stars from the pound range, and then a couple of the fir trees. The size card that I'm using is 11.5 centimetres by 19.5 centimetres. We'll get started. So I'm going to start first of all by taking my circle mask and putting it very close to the top. There's a couple of centimetres just down from the top. And I'm going to take my Victorian Velvet and a smoothie. And I'm just going to, I don't want it too dark, I'm just going to flick from the acetate onto the card, and I'm just going to create this lovely pink glow all around the moon. So there we have our moon. I'm going to clean this off straight away because I'm going to come back in with my black in a moment, and I don't want to forget and then smudge the pink all over the rest of the card. So I just use a little towel there and clean it. Now I'm going to take my gorgeous blending brush and I'm going to dab it into my bundled sage. Take the first pieces off of it, and then I'm going to follow the shape of the moon. So I'm just going to go backwards and forwards there. Don't know if you can see. Yes, you've picked that up. And then a bit on this side. I've got a gap in the middle. You don't need it solid because we're going to go with my, if I had another one of these, I'm going to get the whole set so that I've got one for each colourway. They're lovely. They're just so soft. So for now, I'm going to use my blending sponge brush, and I'm just going to gently create here and there some just shades of pink. So now you can see this moon in the inside has got this lovely greeny pink glow. I'm moving this blending brush in a circular motion. Now you can do this as hard or as light as you like. I just like that it's a subtle colour. I'm going to pop the lids here. Then I'm going to take my moon again. It's relatively easy to place in exactly where you had it before. And I'm going to take my black soot with my smoothie, which has already got quite a lot on it. I prefer to start less because you can build it up, whereas it's much harder to take it off if you put it on too dark. There we go. And now I'm just going to flick, and as I said in the beginning, you want the pink to extend beyond the black. Now, unfortunately, I was a bit heavy-handed here, but thank goodness that is where my tree branch is going to go. So we should be okay with that one. Just going to give this a clean again. I think it's really good just to get into the habit of cleaning it off as you work. And you can see that I've got this pink glow behind the black all the way around my moon. Then I'm going to take my tree branch and my Chianti, ink up my tree branch, and what I want to do is I want to place this so that it's just coming into the moon. I'm going to start, so most of the stamp is actually going to be stamped off the card. So we just get the tiniest bit of the tree branch into the moon. And then I'm going to bring this one up at an angle. And I'm just going to go around both sides of the moon. So you can see what I did was let me put this behind it so we don't get distracted. There we go. So I started with my first stamp horizontally, and then I brought these branches up and these ones in. Then I'm going to take my small trees, one of them, you get 2 of them in the set, and I chose these because I like the spikiness of this, and I think it just gives it a bit of extra depth in between the tree branch. So it's a really good way of using your stamps. Different ways, don't have to use them exactly for the purpose they were intended. So there we have, the sides of our moon is decorated. Now I'm going to take a piece of kitchen towel. I love doing clouds this way. I've just pulled it randomly to create a textured edge, and I'm going to place it across my card, and I'm going to pick up my pink, my Victorian velvet once again, with my smoothie, which is only got a tiny bit of ink on it, and I'm ever so lightly going to flick it over the clouds, over the kitchen towel, to create some clouds. Now I'm not going all the way along. Okay, we're going to move the kitchen towel so that these clouds land up being random. If you haven't seen me do this fully, I've done it a couple of times, past videos, go and check them out. So I'm just popping some pink in the sky, ever so lightly here, ever so randomly across this card, leaving gaps because we are going to come in with the green and add some of that as well. And then I'm going to take bundle sage again, and I'm going to flick some of this in the sky as well. Not using the same place on the kitchen towel each time. You want to use different places. So that these clouds look as though they are, I don't know, you do have pink and green in a moonlit sky, don't you? Well, maybe it's early evening sky then. But after all, this is Magic Land, so we can have whatever we like, can't we? And in some places you'll think you can't even see it, but as I say, it's much better to go in lightly, and then you can go and build up some of that depth and darkness later. So there we go, we've just got texture in the sky all the way along. Then I'm going to take my fir trees. Before I put my fir trees in, so that I know exactly where I'm going to put them, I might just ink up my Spellbound. She's a gorgeous fairy with Nocturne, so then I know where I'm going to put my trees. And I'm going to place her sort of with her face looking downwards a little. There she is. Then we're going to take our fir tree, and I'm going to start with Chianti. And my first one I'm going to put quite high up and halfway off the card. I prefer to dab my ink pad on top of my stamps as opposed to bring my stamp to my ink pad, because then I can see that I've actually applied all of my ink onto the stamp and I haven't missed any pieces. So now I'm going to just pop these all along the bottom of this card at various heights. And there we have, we've built up the bottom. And now I'm going to pop my stars. I'm using Chianti again. I'm using the miniature star set. This is one of my favourites. And I'm going to leave a bit of space out of her hands. The stars are just tumbling down. There we go. And then finally, I'm just going to give it a frame around the edge with, actually I'm going to use hickory smoke. I felt that the black soot was a little too dark. Before I do that, I'm going to heat set it to make sure that as I move around the edge, I don't smudge it. And then using hickory smoke, I'm just going to go around the edge of the card, which draws the eye in, gives it a frame. And there we have it, the gorgeous Spellbound fairy in the night sky. I do hope you've enjoyed that. I'd love to see what you make. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.